Hi there, I'm Shannon Curry. I'm a copywriter, content creator, and the owner of Love Shannon, where I work with entrepreneurs and screenwriters to get their big ideas out into the world with the right words. And today I wanted to share with you 5 tips that you can use to punch up your own DIY copy and make sure that you're getting the most out of your messaging. So stick around. All right, DIY copy tip number 1, stop burying your headlines. Okay, I'm guilty of this and I see it happening all the time. Mostly it comes with like social media posts or a Medium article or something like a LinkedIn article or a blog post. You'll spend the first couple lines ramping up to the idea instead of getting right to the meat of what you want to say. When you get right to the essence or you provide the most important part of the story right up at the top, it's a great way to hook readers in and make sure that they keep reading all the way through. If you come out with a big thesis or a big claim, it's really catchy. It's going to grab the reader and make them want to learn more, read more, get to the bottom. And you want to think about it particularly when it comes to social media, because something like Instagram, it's going to cut you off after 125 characters and then give that classic see more. Well, a lot of times people won't click see more. So if you spent those first few lines just sort of warming up to your idea, like, hey guys, how's it going? Is everyone enjoying their Tuesday or whatever? You've wasted your shot at catching someone's attention and making them hit that see more button. DIY copy tip number 2. Your second draft is about structure. Now, I'm really hoping that folks are doing second drafts. Look, we've all been a bit guilty of it. We've like tappity-tapped, hit send before we've even had a peek. Okay, sure. But if it's for something important or, as a practice, try to start thinking about your second draft being about the structure, the overall shape of your argument. Really what that time is for is to look at your copy and think, and put yourself in the place of the reader. Are they going to be able to follow your logic as you've laid it out? Are there gaps where the reader might have questions? And if so, is there a way that you can fill in that gap before they even have a chance to form that question? Because here's the thing, the minute that we become confused when we read, if we have questions or if we go, I don't think that's true, we're kind of lost to the ether of fast internet. We bail, we get out, we move our attention elsewhere. So to hold your audience captive, you want to start answering the questions before they've even had a chance to ask them. That's when you look to your structure. Okay, DIY copy tip number 3. Try to break down or demystify any in-house terms you may use in your business. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes for our packages or our offers or our services, we put catchy titles on stuff that makes sense to us. And it may sound like it's made up of a lot of common words or phrases that we'll all have the same understanding about, but that may not be the case. I want to give you 2 examples and 1 hypothetical. All right, here's one. I was on the subway the other day and I saw a great ad from a bank, and it was offering a new service that they've put out for their customers. It's called Quick Check, and it's a credit score check. Well, everyone knows what that is, and they've even gone as far as to TM it, right? Do you want this quick check? Find out what your credit score is in seconds. Well, that seems pretty straightforward. I'll understand based on it being a bank, it being a credit score service, and it being called Quick Check, exactly what it does. Another great example is one that I saw from an LSAT prep course called Harvard Ready. That's their package that obviously gets people who are studying to become lawyers Harvard Ready. Okay, it's all in the name and I completely understand it. You probably don't need to explain to me too much about what your service is going to do because it's all right there. But I want to give a hypothetical. What if we have a product or a package that sounds like it's made up of all of those right words, but it could lead to more questions? This is where we're going to want to explain this in our business. So I promise you this is a fully hypothetical. I have not seen this package. If you have it, I'm so sorry. I know nothing about it. I just made it up on the fly. But let's say that you're a PR company and you have a package that you're selling to your clients called Front Page Perfect. Okay, it's catchy. It has all of those words that sound like a phrase. It sounds like a turn of phrase we already know or that we have an idea about. But when I think about it, I still have more questions. What makes me front page perfect? Are you going to put together my pitch and send it off? Are you just going to help me put together my pitch and I send it off? Are you going to connect me with the front pages of all these great publications? Or again, are you just working on the pitch or proposal? If you're getting me front page perfect, does that mean that you're also connecting me with a stylist or making sure that I'm landing on the front page looking perfect? It starts to give me some questions. So if you have something like this in your business, I recommend just giving an explanation of what it is. What does it mean from your business's point of view, from your offer, to be front page perfect? DIY copy tip number 4. Don't spend the majority of your time explaining the brass tacks of your offer. Instead, talk about the imagined future that your offer provides your potential clients. Now, I know this is going to sound like a contradiction from the last tip when I asked you to explain any in-house terms. Fair. But when it comes to writing like a sales page or your website copy, anything where you're introducing an idea, you're catching an audience kind of cold or somewhat cold, and you're trying to talk to them about what you do, instead of chasing them down with the brass tacks, the real nitty-gritty of what's in your package, it's a 3-part service, 2 hours of this, and then followed by a worksheet, and then a bunch of templates. Don't chase them with the details. Entice them with the imagined future. Here's what I mean. We spend a lot of time as consumers spending money in the present for a future we can only imagine. When I'm in the drugstore, say, looking at a lipstick, I don't pick up the lipstick because I like the color red. I pick up the lipstick because something about it calls me. I'm drawn to it, and with an $8 lipstick in hand, I'm already imagining myself out at dinner, having wine, with a great outfit. Maybe I'm already seeing the person that I'm gonna go with or the night that we're gonna have. I'm suddenly that person or that version of myself that goes out for $600 dinners or major occasions, all from an enticing $8 lipstick. We paint these kinds of ideal future pictures of ourselves all the time when we're buying things. And that's the joy that we experience when we're picking up or choosing between products and services. So give that to your potential audience. Don't spend a ton of time talking about all the nitty-gritty of what they're gonna get if they buy your thing, but rather who they will become for having used or purchased or benefited from your service. That future version of them, that's the future that they want to buy into. That's what they're purchasing. Finally, DIY copy tip number 5, show up generously with your ideas. Now, here's what I mean by that, and it's purely anecdotal. I don't just mean about posting to social media every day or trying to beat an algorithm. No, I mean showing up to every time that we create a post or an article or even have a discovery call or write our newsletter or create a video such as this, showing up with real ideas. When we do that, we center ourselves in what we believe and how we know it to be true. We start thinking in our own business. And I can say personally, as many times as yes, it can lead to a sale or it can lead to a new client, fantastic. Mostly though, what I have gained from it is becoming inspired, creative, and turning on that visionary part of my brain that remembers why I started having a business in the first place, what I wanted for myself, and how I knew the ideas that I had could help other people, help them in their business, help them get somewhere that they weren't before. Anytime that I've shown up to share that idea with that intention, with that generous intention, I can tell you that I have learned something about my business that I didn't even know before. And that, to me, is why we do what we do. Thanks so much for joining me in my 5 DIY copy tips. I hope they helped. If you have a comment or a question or something has inspired you, please let me know. I always love to hear from folks, and I write back. All right, that's it for me. Bye.